Incap published today Q2 results, and I am discussing, as always, about the release with the company CEO Otto Pukk. Welcome, Otto.
Thank you very much, Antti.
Let's start with Q2 numbers. Could you please describe a bit growth in Q2 and profitability and the main drivers behind them?
Yeah, no, in that sense, we have had a good growth in basically all other customer accounts that we have, except for our biggest customer, and we have also been able to defend our profitability quite nicely with the different downsizing exercise that we have done to this destocking exercise that we are involved in currently. So overall, it's quite good first half of the year, and with everything taken into consideration. Now, of course, this destocking exercise, we will see full impact of how to say, the new lower levels here during Q3 and Q4, as we have mentioned before as well. But overall, we are quite happy with the first half and how we've been able to develop it in that sense.
How did this production ramp-up related to destocking exercise progress in India in Q2, and did you reach planned production level at the end of quarter?
Yeah, in the end of the quarter we reached, but during most of Q2 we have been working with how to say, ramping down. So we have gone down from very high manufacturing levels down to those that we have today. So that have taken, of course, time. And if you looked in for example, the number of employees, and so we have had it has a quite significant decrease there overall. But we have a very flexible model in India, which allows us, and in general as well in India, which allows us to maneuver with the capacity in that sense, and do that in a quite cost efficient way. And so far we have been able to do so, and have done the best out of the situation in that sense. And now we are producing on these lower levels, and that we will continue to do until the end of the year, and then it of course depends a lot upon our the development of sales from our customers on how long that we need to be. But overall, I think it looks positive, and I think also if you look at the business in general, outside of that, it goes very well currently, and I think that's also encouraging.
Yes, indeed. Still continuing about this biggest customer, did inventories of this biggest customer decrease, increase, or stay flat during the Q2?
But I think if you look at the inventories in general, the inventory level have gone down if you compared it, and that is due to that component availability or so is much better on the market, and this is something we have been expecting as well, that the inventory gone down, and that of course has a big part of that also have our is tied to our biggest account, because of course them having the biggest share of the inventory. But relatively now, of course, with the drop in inventory that we have now, then we expect that to continue the positive development there, and so it, yeah, if to answer your question, then simply it is of course have to do with them as well, but not only.
Yes. Then about the cost base that you touched on your answer previously, it adapted quite well to drop in sales in Q2, and especially gross margin improvement offset declining sales. How would you describe product mix in Q2, and was there any extraordinary in your material cost in the quarter?
No, I would say that there was no how to say extraordinary product mix or so. It's quite average in that sense. So I would say that is similar to what we would expect now to continue as well. Of course, the full impact of the reduction we don't see yet, and that we will see in Q3, and then it's like easier to perhaps comment on or analyze that. But overall, there was no extraordinary product mix or so in this, and foremost profitability level, we were able to remain with our very flexible setup where we don't carry very much additional cost for doing changes in capacity in India.
Yeah. And then the outlook, you reiterated the guidance, obviously, but could you anyhow elaborate a bit more what is going on the markets right now, and has there been any changes in customer behavior in Q2?
No, I wouldn't say, as I said, that we sit in Incap with quite two different cases in that sense. We have most of our other accounts are growing, and we see quite good development. We're investing in our facilities in Europe and to meet that demand, and it looks very positive. And then we have this one big account where we work with a different work stream in that sense, reducing the inventory and helping them out to do that exercise. So overall, I would say that the outlook on the market and so it's very positive. There's still a good demand in electronics, and we see that is driving. We don't see very much, how to say, other tendencies that the demand would go down or so on it. Of course, looking at next year is still early, but we don't have any signals currently on that either. So overall, it looks good. What we see is component availability is getting better, and pricing in components somewhat have come down, and we see less of this extraordinary that we need to do some kind of the spot purchases with big variation and these PPVs and so that we saw here. So the picture is improving, and apart from our destocking exercise, I would say that it's even excellent.
Okay, good to hear. You mentioned that you're focusing as always on getting new customers to your portfolio. How did that work progress in Q2, and then has available capacity in India attracted potential new customers to join Incap's platform?
Yeah, no, I think in that sense it has worked very well, not only in India but also in our other units. We have had good traction, and of course having a capacity available and so is always interesting for our existing customers and on the new ones as well. And we have had quite a few visiting and in discussions, but those things take time, of course, and in our industry, then it's very hard to turn something into mass production within less than some 6 months to a year in that sense. So it will take some time, but yeah, the interest is there, and there is a lot of possibilities. And now also with the acquisition, the US acquisition, that also opens up very interesting possibilities for us, both to support our US the customers of Pennatronics with manufacturing in Asia and Europe, but also the other way around, that many of our existing customers can benefit from having a made in US stamp on their goods.
That acquisition was supposed to be my next topic, so let's go.
I'm always one before you.
that is who you are. It looked really promising acquisition, at least to me. Could you please elaborate a bit a strategic rationale of acquisition of Pennatronics that you made in July?
Yeah, no, strategic rationale. We have been looking at the US market for a longer time, and as you have seen before in the statistics, a lot of our products end up in US, and we have had our existing customers discussing the possibilities for us also to establish something there, and so US has been on the radar for a longer time, and we have even looked some years ago. We looked at greenfield possibilities there, but we somehow left that track, and have been since that looking at the possible acquisition target, because of course having a better team that you get with an acquisition on site that helps in that sense. So I think we have been looking, and now we found Pennatronics, an excellent company that is very much in our similar to how to say, very similar to us when it comes to technical capability and when it comes to how they operate. Even if they have been owner driven, they have a very strong team and good technical competence in that sense. And so for us, it felt like very good fit and to acquire them. And of course, it's a stepstone into the US market. And as we talked about in the webinar session here, that US market is big. So it's not so that you have one site in US and you suddenly have covered all that market. So but it's a good start, and we have fantastic people working there, and I'm really looking forward to develop that further.
Yeah, we are looking forward that as well. Pennatronics has been obviously less profitable, like almost all companies in the EMS industry, than Incap recently. Is there a room to raise profitability of Pennatronics to Incap's double-digit EBIT margin level in future? And what would you have to do to reach that kind of development?
Yeah, no, I think of course being part of something bigger and so there is more leverage and so in some of the cost elements and materials and other things, and so I think there is possibility to improve profitability there as well. I wouldn't say that they have been now on an exceptionally low level. They are actually doing quite well, and apart from the COVID years where they retained their staff during those years, then they keep on doing a good result. And I've said it before as well. For me, the EBIT margin, how to say, the percentage have never been holy, even if it's nice to be on top of the peer in that sense, but it's not holy. If we can find good business that have a lower profitability on percentage wise, but give good money for our shareholders, then of course we are going to take that on. So the percentage is never holy, but I'm quite sure that we will drive out synergies, good synergy effects from this acquisition, as we have done with the previous ones, and normally it takes a little bit time, but it has a positive effect in that sense, both for them and for our other units in that sense.
Sounds like a good plan. You mentioned in the announcement of the acquisition that Incap may look to raise equity if market conditions are favorable in future. Cash flow kicked in very well in the first half, and Incap's valuation has declined recently. Why would it be a good or necessary time to think about raising equity now?
I think that it's more we put it in there as we did with the last acquisition as well, that it might be one way to do it. Say that if we would land a very big acquisition or have a need to do it, then it might be good to perhaps restructure a little bit before that. So it's more in there as an option, not as directly a firm plan that we are going to go with. But as I said, I think we have a strong financial position for acquisitions now also, and we still have, I think, quite good room when it comes to debt leverage and so we could take on, I would say, financial acquisitions through some kind of bank loans and so as well before we need to do some equity element. But I would never close the door to anything. So that's the thing. If for some reason it would make sense to raise equity and shareholders would gain from it, I'm not closing that door either. So, but it was not in there as I would say a sure thing. It was that we might do it if it's needed, and I think that is exactly what we would.
That's clear. Thank you very much for the interview, Otto.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward for the next one.